For more on this, let's bring in Dana Pittard, retired U.S. Army Major General. From what you know of the strikes, Iran is apparently, trying to rebuild or clean up. We're not sure, but they've sent heavy equipment to the site. Was this a success, General?
Well, good afternoon, John. It was absolute success. The nuclear program has been set back. Whether it's years or months, it doesn't matter. It was successful. The battle damage assessment. I've been involved in hundreds of airstrikes in combat, and you never know. I thought a building was destroyed and everybody in it were killed, and then 5 people walked out. It's like, but the strikes against the nuclear facilities were absolutely successful. It was an amazing operation.
Amazing, and in some respects, the fact that it was kept so secret, despite the criticisms that have been lobbed against the president. This thing went off pretty fantastically, did it not?
It did. The OPSEC on it was great, and obviously we now have an historical opportunity for peace in the region.
So, in the first Trump term, the 45th president of the United States, he launched the Abraham Accords. The Biden administration seemed to sort of poo-poo that, but do you think that there is the possibility now for a wider peace in the Mideast, maybe bringing in other countries?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, if you look at the history of it, it really started with the Camp David Accords in 1978, when there was normalized relations between Israel and Egypt, and that was huge. That was with President Carter. And then with President Clinton in 1994, it was normalization and peace between Jordan and Israel. And then President Trump, in his first term with the Abraham Accords, that was normalization between Israel, the UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan. Now is an opportunity to get the rest of the region on board, especially Saudi Arabia. Get Saudi Arabia on board, other countries will follow. But what also has to happen is a couple things. One is peace with Iran. Iran can never have nuclear weapons, so we know that. But also solving the Israel-Gaza conflict to where is an equitable solution. That must happen, or Saudi Arabia will never have normalized relations with Israel.
Talk about China and Russia. I mean, those are 2 other world superpowers, and they've done nothing, as far as we know, to help their friends, the Iranians. What does that say to you?
Well, absolutely. I mean, Iran's friends and allies, Russia and China, where were they when Iran was attacked by Iran and the U.S.? So bottom line is Russia could do nothing. So they were discovered to what they are in the region. They're a paper tiger in the region. They're so involved in what's happening in Ukraine, they could do nothing to help Iran. And China, with all their talk, they could do nothing, even though nearly 50% of their oil comes from that region, but they could do nothing. What has emerged here is the U.S. The U.S. as the key nation in the region for anything that's going to be positive or peaceful in the future. It's going to be up to the U.S.
But one of the ominous rumblings about this attack is that it could bring on a military coup in Iran, that the Ayatollah might fall, but maybe you don't get a democracy like the United States would like to see. You get a military-run government. Do you see that as a probability or a possibility here? And what would that mean? What would that look like?
Well, we don't know. We know that the people of Iran are not happy with the current government, the way it is. So we will see, and that will be up to, obviously, the Iranian people. But what we all want is Iran to be a peaceful neighbor with the rest of the region. Stop the terrorism, stop the nuclear ambitions. So that's what we want. So regardless of the government that takes the place of maybe the current government in Iran, we just want a peaceful Iran. We're not into nation building. That's up to the Iranian people.
Retired General Dana Pittard, retired from the U.S. Army. General, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.